It's been a week since arriving here in Caceres, and wow, what a culture shock it's been. My first week here was pretty rough. The weather was bad, raining, cloudy, and cold. There wasn't much sunshine to keep you warm throughout the day, but towards the end of the week, everything started to get better. Food here is very bland. We don't really use spices or anything hot and spicy. Foods are very simple but very healthy. I've learned that the majority of their food is organic and fresh versus the food that we eat back in the US, where they use a lot of preservatives. College here is very different. The University de Extremadura is gigantic. It's set up in a way where each school of study is separated into huge buildings. Each building is almost like a community of students whom are studying the same subject. We were given a tour of the campus, and one of the first stops in which we saw was the library. The library was quite different. You were able to feel the difference the moment you walked in. Students here are not allowed to talk, use their phone, or make any such noise. They are instantly asked to leave the building. The college life here is different for the most part, but it's been amazing so far. It's the second week here in Spain. This week our class traveled to Seville. It was about 3 hours away from Caceres, but it was all worth it in the end. This picture is a picture that I took of the cathedral called La Giralda. It was a beautiful and gigantic place to see. In this cathedral, we can see the different types of influences that were here in Spain. We were able to distinguish the Muslim and Moor influences in the structures, as well as the Gothic and Roman influences in the church. This trip to Seville was amazing. Not only was it beautiful, but the food in Seville was to die for. I hadn't tasted a meal that reminded me of home until I arrived here. The food here had flavor, spice, and was almost like the Hispanic food back home. While in Seville, I was able to see my first baile flamenco ever. This baile isn't anything you've ever seen before. It's quite different from the normal dances that we see back home in the States. Next stop was Merida. Merida has a lot of Roman architecture still standing, and even an old Colosseum where gladiators once fought while many others watched. Talk about going back in history or learning about the ancient Romans and the Greeks and the gods that once lived there in Spain. Next up, we were able to see an ancient amphitheater that is still being used till this day. This is one of the longest bridges still standing, over 1 mile long. Studying abroad changed my life forever. I'll be forever thankful and grateful to those who made this a reality for me. This is something I can go back and tell my future children, family, and students. It's an experience of a lifetime. Study abroad, it's the best decision you'll ever make.